Imagine being at a festival, packed with energy, all the sounds, the sights. But sometimes the things that really hit you, the most powerful experiences, well, they come from the quietest spots. Today, we're diving into a perfect example of that. It's this really unique wellness collaboration between two great brands, Jurlique and A Better Lifestyle, ABL. It happened at the Tokyo Outside Festival back in 2025. So try to picture this. It's March 2025. You're in Shinjuku Chuo Park, smack bang in Tokyo. That spring air is crisp. The festival's buzzing all around you. But you sort of find this tent, a little sanctuary. Our mission here for this deep dive is to unpack how this really genuinely refreshing experience happened, how it came about right there amongst all that vibrant festival energy.
Yeah, and what's truly striking about the aroma and breath camp, as they called it, is how it created this immersive wellness moment. It was really powered by this lovely blend of nature, tradition, and just very thoughtful collaboration. So we're going to explore how natural skincare, these ancient yogic breathing practices, and mindful lifestyle design, how they weren't just there side by side, but how they really worked together, synergized to offer this genuine refuge.
Okay, let's start by stepping inside that tent. Because Jurlique, they really curated something special there, didn't they? You could feel their signature touch. The sensory details were just key. The air, immediately you noticed it was filled with their organic aromatherapy blends.
The ones from their farm in Australia.
Exactly, sourced right from their biodynamic farm. And it wasn't just the smell. There was calming candlelight flickering and these natural elements placed around. Pine cones, charcoal, stones.
So creating a whole atmosphere.
Totally. It made this incredibly serene, almost kind of sacred feeling right in the middle of the festival noise.
And once people were inside, they were invited pretty quickly to engage with those aromas, right? And then transition into the core wellness practices. They were guided through pranayama.
Which are the traditional yogic breathing techniques.
Precisely. And what's so fascinating, I think, is how these ancient, quite profound methods were brought into this busy, modern festival setting and made accessible. It wasn't about complex yoga poses. It was really about offering these practical but powerful moments of just internal connection.
Right. And the specific breathing techniques they use there are quite insightful, designed for pretty immediate impact, it seems. First, you mentioned Anulom, Vilom. That's alternate nostril breathing.
That's the one.
And its purpose is about calming the mind, balancing energy.
Exactly. By consciously guiding the breath through alternate nostrils, the idea is it harmonizes the left and right brain hemispheres, creates this sense of balance, deep mental quiet.
It's a surprisingly direct way to shift how you feel inside, isn't it?
It absolutely is, yeah. And it wasn't just the breathing itself. They also brought in Sukshma Vyayama.
Sukshma Vyayama. Subtle joint movements.
That's right. Think of them not as strenuous exercise, but as really gentle, almost tiny movements. They're designed to awaken the body's energy channels, sort of prepare it for deeper breathing.
Okay. Like oiling the joints.
Kind of, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For a smoother, maybe more profound internal experience. It enhances the breathwork's effect.
So these are incredibly effective practices, but they sound simple on the surface. But I understand they weren't just left to figure it out themselves. There was expert guidance. Tell us about that.
Yes, and that's a really critical point. These methods were supervised by Ashutosh Singh. He's the founder of the Patanjali Japan Foundation. So participants weren't just, handed a leaflet. They got hands-on demonstrations. There were informative posters too, but crucially, they got personalized guidance. And this brings up an interesting point for you listening too. How does that expert supervision, that direct engagement, really enhance practices that, might seem simple, but they're actually quite profound? It's definitely more than just reading instructions, isn't it? It's about embodiment, getting that little bit of feedback.
That's such a key distinction. I mean, it's one thing to read about pranayama online or in a book, but what dimension does that direct guidance, that person being there, bring to it that maybe an instruction just can't capture? I guess it helps unlock the deeper stuff, ensures you're doing it right. And while people were doing this inner work, deepening their breath, what were they physically connecting with? Because the whole experience was literally grounded on something quite special. Let's talk about the rugs, Better Lifestyle's handmade yoga rugs.
Absolutely. While all this internal focus was happening, the actual physical foundation of the space, it was these ABL handmade yoga rugs. And these weren't just any rugs, They were crafted from ethically sourced Indian cotton, which gave them this really sturdy but warm and very natural feel underfoot, or under you if you were sitting. They literally connected people to the earth in that space.
And you're saying these rugs, They weren't just there to look nice, not
Mhm.
just props.
Oh, definitely not. Their functional role was, I'd say, critical to the whole experience. They really were tools for grounding, for relaxation, for actually helping with the breath work itself. By providing that warm, natural, inviting base, they literally supported that feeling of stillness and connection, allowed people to really settle in, despite the festival buzzing just outside the tent walls.
I can just imagine that feeling. Walking in from the festival, chaos, the noise, the people, and then stepping onto one of those rugs. That immediate sense of grounding, that soft, natural texture, must have been quite a shift.
A very palpable shift, yes.
It's almost like the rugs themselves were saying, okay, leave the festival out there for a minute.
Yeah, like an invitation.
And you could see them being used in different ways.
Oh, yes. From people just sitting comfortably for the guided meditations to others using them for maybe more involved yoga postures. I think the source even mentioned seeing a yogi doing a split posture on one.
Wow. Okay.
So they were clearly versatile, designed to support all sorts of practice, really becoming that foundation for connection and embodying that whole philosophy of sustainability and mindfulness just by being what they were.
Okay, so we've walked through the experience, the aroma, the breath, the grounding rugs. Now, stepping back a bit, what does this all mean in the sort of bigger picture of wellness? What made this particular collaboration, this aroma and breath camp, really stand out from, I don't know, other festival booths or wellness things you might see?
That's the key question, isn't it? If we connect it to broader trends, I think there were three really key reasons this stood out and was so impactful. Firstly, it really showcased ethical curation. You had both Jurlique and ABL, right? Both deeply committed to sustainability. Jurlique with its skincare, ABL with its lifestyle goods like the rugs.
Right, the farm to face and the ethical cotton.
Exactly. And this isn't just, marketing fluff. It taps right into that growing consumer desire for brands that are genuinely environmentally and socially conscious. It showed real integrity from the farm to the mat in this case. Secondly, it was about integrated wellness. It wasn't just aromatherapy or breath work. It was the thoughtful blending of that ancient Indian wisdom like pranayama with premium modern aromatherapy that created this truly holistic experience. It went beyond just using a product.
Like the sum was greater than its parts.
Precisely. It shows how different traditions, ancient and modern, can be combined effectively for, enhanced well-being, offering something more complete than maybe one approach could on its own. And finally, and perhaps this is the most profound point, it was utterly experience-driven. That tent wasn't just a display case or a place to sell things, no. It was designed from the ground up to be a multi-sensory journey, focused on calm, on care, on conscious living.
So not just showing products, but offering an actual feeling.
Exactly. And the real insight here isn't just about mixing elements, but about creating these genuine retreat moments within unexpected places, like high-energy environments. This aroma and breath camp kind of quietly proves something important. In a world that's always shouting for attention, maybe the deepest impact comes from offering radical simplicity and stillness. It sort of challenges that idea that deep wellness needs a special studio or an exclusive retreat. Sometimes it's about finding or creating a micro moment of connection right amidst the chaos.
That's a really powerful thought, that immersive aspect. So many brands try for that, and it sounds like they really nailed it here. What do you think, though, was the biggest challenge in sort of translating something so intimate, so contemplative, into a big, loud festival setting? Or maybe what were the unexpected advantages the festival actually provided for this kind of thing?
That's a great point.
Because the source summed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Wellness doesn't need to be loud. It can be quietly powerful.
I think you hit on it. The advantage was the contrast. The noise and energy outside made the quiet sanctuary inside even more potent. It offered that radical shift. So the core insight, really, is that the successful integration, ethical sourcing, ancient wisdom, sensory experience, it worked. It created a genuinely impactful wellness space, precisely because it offered that much-needed counterpoint within a big public event. It just demonstrates the profound effect that thoughtful collaboration can have when it's truly focused on well-being, not just, shifting units.
So for you listening right now, maybe think about this. How might you find or even create those quietly powerful moments of wellness in your own life? Perhaps it's about integrating some natural elements, maybe simple breath work like we discussed, or choosing ethically sourced products when you can. It's really about finding those small, consistent ways to connect with yourself, even when the world around you feels like it's buzzing nonstop. And if you are curious about those ABL yoga rugs we talked about today, you can find more information at www.patanjali.jpc shop. We'll put that in the notes too.